I'm willing to get beat down for this. I will take the beating if I have to.
Sometimes two very different shows can feature genius in very similar ways. Today, Austin Hargrave, Barry Kramer, Alex Faciane, and Shane Gill join me, Forrest Lee, as we decide who outsmarts whom. It's Dexter's Laboratory versus Batman the Animated Series, and this is Madness.
Welcome back to Madness. Today's matchup gonna be a little difficult. It's Batman the Animated Series versus Dexter's Laboratory. Does anyone have any points they would like to start with?
I've never said laboratory in earnest. That's my first point. Batman is the better show. I will not change my mind about this, no matter what.
Thanks for watching this episode.
Batman gets a bye on this round. Let's go.
All right. This is honestly probably one of the one. I think out of all the brackets, it's the one I have the least strong opinions about.
Batman?
Okay. I'll just take a break over there, guys. Let me know who I should vote for at the end.
Will do.
Batman is an achievement because Batman is not a children's character. He's not bright. He's not colorful. He's not funny at all. And he's very scary, and he like beats the crap out of people. And somehow, even with the rule that you can't have freaking guns in the show at all, or killing, or really anything like that, somehow they managed to capture every aspect of Batman more seriously and more like beautifully than any show had ever done, than most comic books had ever done.
I think this is the best version of Batman as a character.
It is one of, arguably, for sure, like the best thing that is Batman related.
Yeah, better than George Clooney with the nipples.
Better. Yeah. Even better than the Batman
Somehow.
Credit card.
I need to go.
Do you know that in that movie, Robin comes through a wall on a motorcycle, and the hole in the wall is his logo? Go back and watch it.
It's like an R?
He comes. It's this.
How is that physically? There's a hole in the middle of the letter R.
It's his like fake Batman logo that looks like.
Oh, it's a Batman. Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, good Batman.
We could talk about that movie all day.
I appreciate your honesty.
I think they both have excellent voice acting.
Definitely.
True.
Let's start with that, just so we actually talk about it. Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter has an incredibly shrill voice, but you never really get tired of it, and that's an achievement.
Yeah.
It has an incredible theme song. It's not fair that it's up against like Danny Elfman.
Yeah,
but I actually, weird trivia. The guy who used to sing opera at my church is the guy. It's like
cool.
It's really the guy. But the thing that I was gonna say about
collusion.
Shout out to that guy.
Yo, I'm going for Batman. You're dead. I mean, you're dead to me. But the thing about Dexter's Lab that's really good is that it's a show about the rage that you feel when you're smarter than everybody. And like when you're like
when you think you're smarter
like
than
when
everyone.
you're like a kid and you're like, oh, I'm a smart kid, so that's like my thing. And the thing that's funny about it is that he always gets roasted by like hubris every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually something I like about the show is the dynamic between the two characters, Dee Dee and Dexter. Because you think, oh, Dee Dee's the annoying sister that comes to mess everything up, but sometimes she's actually the likable one in the episode.
Most of
and
the
Dexter
time.
is kind of like annoying, or like he's kind of evil. I mean, not like annoying, but he's nefarious.
When you
and
look
he's
at
like,
Dexter, he's the asshole kid nobody wants to actually hang out with. Like,
Yeah. If you look at the like monkey to man
Yeah.
of Dexter, like down here is like Wile E. Coyote, Dexter's in the middle, and at the end you have like what's
George Jetson.
No, Invader Zim. Invader Zim.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he's another one who's always like
So is George Jetson, though.
that's true.
Yeah. That's not on the list, unfortunately.
No,
Didn't
yeah.
slip in a 90s cartoon.
That 90s cartoon.
Just a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, television in every home that's in color. How futuristic.
Something Dexter's Lab did really well was that each of the characters, like, they have like a sound bite associated with them, right?
Yeah.
Like Mandark.
Yeah.
His laugh.
He's really funny. Dexter just has like the craziest accent of all time, which is really funny.
I don't know what he's supposed to be.
I think he's supposed to be German.
he definitely doesn't sound anything like his sister. I don't know if they're blood related or what.
He
but
sounds like no one in his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's adopted. I don't know.
So
Explain
where is the laboratory?
It's in his room.
But like
The basement,
No,
right?
it's the basement, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
He
a
goes
house.
downstairs, right? Or is it like an
Yeah, he
elevator?
Goes on like a
in a
thing.
chute.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's in the intro, Dee Dee does the like.
Yeah.
Doesn't
too,
Right.
Is his family supposed to know? I mean, like his parents, do they know about it?
Probably no.
Okay, I can remember.
No, they
It's
don't.
not. It's like
I mean,
magical
they know,
realism.
They're really the parents are really oblivious, right? Am I
Yeah,
remembering
yeah.
that correctly?
There's
Yeah.
even scenes when like rockets come up and stuff, and the entire house just flips, and then the
Yeah.
rockets come in and it comes back, and everyone's just like, "Whoa, what was that?"
Yeah.
It's a great show. It's a great like fantasy, escapist fantasy for like the indoor like tinkerer kid. Like those are the things that are good about it. I mean, I don't know. Like it's another like this one's actually Tartakovsky, right?
Yeah.
And so visually it looks a little bit stronger, like with the style. Like it's more
Yeah,
defined.
Craig
It's very
McCracken made all of the Powerpuff Girls, and Tartakovsky was just helping with it. This was, it might have been Tartakovsky's first This Is My Show.
Yeah, this one, if you look at the animation on it, it's really good, even amongst the shows that have that look.
Sorry, I didn't actually know this. Craig McCracken, Seth MacFarlane, Bush Hartman, and Rob Renzetti all worked on Dexter's Lab.
Yeah.
That's a very impressive.
It's similar to Gumball, or not Gumball, Flapjack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where it's
Yeah.
just like
Just all these A-listers who went on to create amazing things.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I think Dexter's legacy is better than Dexter itself.
Yeah, like like the careers that were birthed.
The careers that were birthed, the like tone of cartoon that was kind of created. But like, come on, dude, it's Batman. Like, they're
Okay, yeah. You were gonna talk about how good that show looked.
Oh yeah,
Let's
because
do that. Let's talk about how good Batman looks, because it looks great.
Batman was the only one of these shows that I had never seen, I think, when going in. And we watched some episodes of it, and that was by far the first thing that stood out. I was like, holy crap, this show looks amazing.
Feet of Clay,
From the
Feet of
intro.
Clay won an Emmy. Feet of Clay won an Emmy
Good.
just for animation.
Good.
It was a Japanese
Good.
studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were watching some this morning actually, and this is just a scene where Bruce and Alfred are having a conversation, and they're having a conversation in a big wardrobe, and all the walls are mirrors, and instead of just doing like a squiggly line and making them blue, they chose to animate the reflections in every single one of those mirrors.
Because Paul Dini is a badass motherfucker. And also, let's not discount the stuff that this show brought to the Batman mythos as
Harley
a whole.
Quinn.
Harley Quinn,
Harley
That's
Quinn
always the big one.
Detective Bullock, Detective Montoya.
Really? Bullock was from?
Yeah, Bullock, Montoya, Mr. Freeze's backstory with his wife.
Yeah,
Right,
Mr.
yeah.
Freeze's backstory before this, just for context on that, was like stupid, evil, regular scientist.
All of
and in
them.
this, it made him an actual character.
Yeah.
With motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the great thing about Batman is like because Batman the original thing is episodic, like this show like just moves at a perfect pace. You don't need that much Batman. He doesn't talk that much. You just get like the story play out, and it's always like you always get good scenes with like henchmen chatting. You always
Yeah.
get good scenes of like cool stealth. There's noir that has this great look of like it's not the future. It's not. It's modern
It's like
times.
it's weird.
gothic.
deco.
Yeah, it's kind of the
deco,
40s.
yeah.
The cars look like old timey razors, but it's like now people are on cell phones.
Well, I think it shows how well they understood Batman because they were able to innovate and create all these new characters and backstories and things. And then the larger canon was like, we're gonna take that from the cartoon,
Yeah.
not the comic series.
If we're talking about visual style, it's the same thing. It's like this is the show that started
the whole dark background thing.
the whole DC like it's up from
But when was the Frank Miller comic that?
It
like,
was in the
80s.
80s.
That was in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was when it was like, oh,
Well,
Batman's
we're
like
talking about
really
specifically
intense.
like art direction. I
the
think.
little
Yeah.
the little triangle eyes, the like
Yeah,
sort of
sure.
low feature single line mouths.
It
That's
looks
like
exactly like Powerpuff Girls.
well, it's like
No, I think you're talking about like the Bruce Timm style of like
Yeah.
very boxy.
Superman.
Yeah.
Everyone
Lois
has a
and Clark
chin that
Adventure.
you could cast steel on.
Yeah, and even now the DC movies like still
Yeah.
pretty much look like that, which is like
Bruce Timm is still making stuff for DC because they liked it so much. I want to give props to two particular voices in that show and how good they were. First of all, Kevin Conroy is Batman.
He is Batman.
He is the
Yeah.
Batman
He's
I
who I
hear in
hear.
my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When someone
And-
says Batman to me and does a quote of Batman in text, I read it in Kevin.
well, he's
Conroy.
not gonna sound like Adam West.
I didn't realize how like important Kevin Conroy was to my version of Batman until they brought him back for Arkham Asylum, and I was like, oh, it's Batman.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
Batman.
It just it just clicked. I was like, oh, this has been the Batman all along.
His ability to have his Bruce Wayne and his Batman be so different and not do the like I know they
The Christian Bale, like, extreme.
Where are the
his-
drugs going?
Yeah, his Bruce Wayne is very up here and his Batman is very
But it's
Very
definitely
down,
the same
yeah.
guy. It's
Yeah.
not goofy.
yeah.
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 It's realistic, and of course we have to talk about Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
The Joker.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of this show, and even I know Mark Hamill as Batman or as a Joker in this show.
He's the funny Joker. He like got it. Like
Yeah.
the Joker originally was just really scary. Like in the 40s, like he just like killed people and it was like messed up. And, like he was like, that's the joke. But now,
Get it?
but somehow the Joker from the cartoon manages to be kooky, scary Joker, but also is like
And horrifying.
legitimately like a fun. Like if you're a kid, you're like,
He was also brought back in Arkham, right?
Yeah, and the dynamic that they created with Harley Quinn was wonderful.
yeah.
It's a horrible relationship.
Yeah,
and
it's toxic as hell.
Yeah.
But it gives Joker so much
yeah.
more depth and gives him more to play off of, and it works really well for what his character became through that series.
Also,
so.
super good Gordon in the cartoon, who's like a real like human in the world of superheroes. He's like a super badass. They did Barbara Gordon's storyline.
Yeah.
All the villains are really good. Poison Ivy is so good in the
the
cartoon.
Rogues Gallery in the Batman animated series. Like I think that it's lucky that it had Batman's Rogues Gallery.
It's a real
but-
it's like the most famous villains in comics.
yeah.
One of the best episodes in that show is just when the
Almost
villains
got
are
him.
sat,
Yeah.
they sat around just playing cards. Like, this is the time I almost got the Batman.
Yeah. And then he's there. He's sitting at the table with him. He's like, I'm here.
And
you're like, yo!
Something about this still bothers me. Starkey's not one to make idle threats.
I thought one thing that I appreciate about what I've seen of this show so far, especially compared to all the other shows, because these are all kid shows.
Yeah.
They all came out in like cartoons in the morning and stuff like that for the most part. This show is a kid show, but it doesn't like play down to its audience.
Yeah.
This was something that Shane pointed out in the that episode that you were talking about how when Batman figures out that he's in a dream, and it doesn't spell it out for you at first, but it just shows you these hints.
Just lays down the clues.
Yeah, like it was about the books. You were like, I mean,
Oh,
when
when he looks in the books, all the texts are just
like
random
messed
symbols
up.
messed up,
Yeah.
and then it explains later that
You can't read.
dreams and reading operate on different parts of the brain that don't overlap. So
Yeah.
in dreams you can't read.
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
It lets the audience figure it out if they're able to, instead of just spelling it out.
It's, you know what I mean?
I think I actually remember the first time I watched Batman, and it was at school. And it was just like a rainy day. It was like, all kids can't go out today for this recess.
Whoever put that on was like the hero.
Teacher of the year.
Yeah. But it's the best cartoon I've ever seen. It's so good. Like, that's not...
because
for
we
adults.
really should talk about other things like Dexter's Lab.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh,
about that
sorry.
show.
Yeah,
I gave it a shake, man. Like, it's about
It's
a kid.
good.
He makes inventions. It's fun.
Well, here they had recurring segments in Dexter's Lab that were also really cool, and there was the whole side plot line with his monkey who was a superhero.
Oh, yeah. That
They
was
were-
cute.
Yeah, that was great, and
That was cute. Anyway, back to Batman.
they also had the Justice Friends, which were Avengers.
Oh yeah.
They had the guy with the Van Halen character who was
Oh
also
yeah, I
Thor.
forgot about that.
Forgot about those. This reminds me of like Action League Now or something.
Yeah, it's
Those
much
like
more
ensemble
of a...
cast
It's much
things.
more of a, like, cartoon, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
cartoon, if you will.
One thing that bugged me about Dexter's Lab, and maybe you guys would disagree with this, I didn't like how it was only 7-minute episodes. Like they're just too
they
short.
split it up into the different commercial
Two
breaks.
I mean, I know,
Yeah.
I know they did it on some of the episodes anyway. I just felt like they wrapped it up like, because like it would just be going, it would just be getting good, and then it would just kind of end
It
sometimes.
was even 3 episodes sometimes.
Yeah, like it had like a 7-minute, like 3
Well-
7-minute things, I think.
Well, if they have the story they want to tell, and it's a 5-minute story, I guess I'd rather they do that than like try.
Yeah,
to
but
put
it
in a
didn't
bunch of
always.
filler.
It didn't always work though. I feel like because sometimes it would just end. Like it was
Yeah.
like it didn't really wrap
No,
it.
so
up.
it wasn't
'Cause
paced.
you get the
Yeah.
get the feeling that they were committed to the 7-minute episodes, and then they're like, oh, geez, we're running out of time. We have to cut this.
Like
Like
they were
that's
just coming up with ideas that and not thinking about the time restraint, so they come up with ideas that's like a 2-minute bit and stretch it out, or like
Yeah.
ideas that need to be like a 20-minute
It's
episode.
yeah, it's
and
not
cram
really
it
like
down.
it's not really like a fleshed out world with
No.
like breathing characters. It's more like I said earlier, it's more like Wile E. Coyote. It's like
Very
It's like
Looney
a-
Tunes.
it's like a
comic
comic
strip.
strip.
Yeah, it's like a
exactly.
bit. Yeah, it's like a bit.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but especially when you compare it to Batman, like a 25 minute like full episode,
Sometimes
it
with
really just feels.
sometimes with multi-episode arcs.
Yeah, it feels kind of lacking. I mean, it's not really. Again, they're kind of apples and oranges, but
Yeah.
it just feels kind of just
I
not.
don't. I don't want to like crap all over Dexter's Lab, but I'm
Me
going to have
neither.
to because
Yeah.
I just feel like
It's
I
a
just need to
really
say
unfair
something.
matchup. Yeah.
Well, I went back and watched Dexter's Lab, and I was like kind of disappointed that it wasn't as good as I remembered, and I kind of wish I didn't watch it and it just lived on as a memory
Yeah.
of a good show from my childhood.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a good show. It's just, it's not like everybody who worked on it, like we were saying before, went on to like perfect their craft elsewhere.
Yeah.
This was a great, vital thing that we needed. Dexter's Lab.
I think
is
it was
important.
actually Cartoon Network's first original show.
Yeah, it's a huge landmark show for them, but against even other stuff that they had, you know what I mean? Like, even against other shows that were airing at the same time as Dexter that came a little later, like they were able to make it more like Powerpuff Girls, for example. Each episode is like a full story versus Dexter, which is like comedy bits, you know, or you know, you can tell that it was made by really skilled people who were learning how to like make a kids show. That you could feel the pitch meetings. Like if you watch it now, you can like kind of feel like the storyboard meeting for this episode and like why it was made. You can kind of figure it out. But like Batman's telling stories. Like there's an episode where the Joker like just tortures a guy for the whole episode.
Yeah.
And like that would never happen in Dexter's Lab.
That'd be dope if it did, though.
Yeah.
Dexter just captures Dee Dee and just like tortures her.
breaks
Only
her.
for 7 minutes. though.
Yeah,
Breaks her
it's
down.
not that long.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Killer moves, B.
Actually, one more thing about Dexter's Lab that I think actually bugged me even as a kid to an extent is that most of the episodes take place like in his laboratory, and it just seems. I mean, even as a kid, it's like, oh, a laboratory. I can't really relate to that at all. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean,
it's
I guess
also-
Dexter himself is not a very relatable character to most people, probably. But I don't know. I mean, Batman's probably not the best example because it takes place in Gotham, and Gotham all is kind of dark and
As
like.
a fellow billionaire, I relate very well to Batman.
It's not fair, right? Like Batman is like a literary figure practically. Like he's like an archetype. Like you can talk about Batman in a academic form and people are like, oh yes, Batman, of course. But Dexter, you know, Dexter's good for when you're a kid and you want to be that. And you're, you know, Dexter's for the kids who love Lego Technics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dexter's for the kids who want to like.
I definitely had friends who could relate.
I didn't even-
It's the people who had cases full of this is my Lego Millennium Falcon that I made.
I didn't even mean to suggest that no one would relate.
No,
to
no,
Dexter.
no.
I meant more like no one. Like I couldn't relate to the
He's not
lab.
he's not
Like,
realistic.
well, if
yeah.
that's the power fantasy of, oh, I'm tinkering with my toys. I want, if I had a lab,
Yeah,
I could
maybe
make
so.
these crazy contraptions. And
Yeah.
oh no, it blew up. Like it's
I guess maybe it just was me. I never liked building things with my hands. You know.
But that's exactly what I mean. Like Batman speaks to everyone because Batman is like Sherlock Holmes, except he beats the shit out of people with a cape on.
I guess on a base level, Batman is just someone who's trying to do good, right? And I feel like everyone, in some way, on their day-to-day life, tries to just like do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why that's why it's the best cartoon of all time.
I agree. I have a horse in this race.
Yeah, everywhere Bruce Timm goes, he does good. But that first like 5 seasons or whatever that was on Fox.
Before it became like the new Adventures of Batman.
Yeah, they kind of pulled back on the animation a little bit. They made it
Yeah.
into a more syndicatable-y show.
When did it offshoot into Batman Beyond?
that was
That was
a
like
bit
2000.
that was a bit
lot
later.
later,
Yeah, but that's also a good show.
I remember enjoying
Yeah.
it.
Also, not the cartoon we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. It was
But,
just like
but the legacy is there. It's
yeah,
the same.
that's
Bruce
also part.
Wayne. Yeah.
Whereas like Dexter, like the creators went on to do other different things that learned from it. Batman just kind of kept doing
Yeah,
Batman forever.
their legacy lives on, or Dexter's legacy lives on in like stuff all the way up to like Family Guy and the
Oh, yeah.
Orville and.
But it's like you can't. It's like you have to
Yeah.
trace that path. It's not obvious.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Whereas with Batman, it's like no, like that version of Batman lived on and continues to live on.
Which
Whereas,
show is available in the 5-disc beautiful Blu-ray set for adults now?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab. Yeah.
But
like-
which DVD did I have to struggle to find for this?
yeah.
it's back then.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
He's cute.
We put him over here. You can tell how much we cared about him.
He's cute, but he's no Batman. He's a little-
Batman is
Yeah, Batman's up there.
He's got very long legs,
Yeah.
all the way down. He's very tall.
All right, so I guess we're gonna have to wrap this up, but I think we all know the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyone want to vote?
I did watch some of Dexter's Lab as a kid and never watched Batman until recently, and I'm still voting Batman. Like it's really, I'm impressed. I'm gonna watch more of it.
It's
honestly.
damn good. Yeah, Batman.
Can I make my vote Batman Beyond? That sounds pretty
Sick. It's a good show.
I mean, I'm mostly voting off of nostalgia because I haven't watched any of these shows since I was a kid, and I probably would have voted for Batman unless you guys were like, no, Dexter is really good. So for you guys to just reaffirm, like, no, some parts of my nostalgia are correct. Like, I enjoyed Dexter a lot, but Batman's just so good.
Sometimes there's a reason why you liked stuff when you
Yeah.
were young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Batman's damn good, kids.
I am Batman.
If you haven't watched Batman, the animated series, First of all, thanks for watching this first.
I like how you guys are basically like, no, it's the best. I'm telling you though, other people have horses in this race too. It's not just gonna be Batman. I don't know if you can, and nobody probably knows what my horse is.
I think we can all figure out who your horse is, or your.
It's gonna be a battle. I'm willing to get beat down for this. I will take the beating if I have to.
Which show do you think should have won? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe, it really does help. And we have new episodes of Madness every Tuesday and Thursday. Also, check out the first episode of this season where we pit SpongeBob SquarePants versus the Powerpuff Girls.